morning, dear students, and welcome to today's session. In this class, we are going to start our discussion of Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 4. Now, before we go on to the scene, let us try to understand that what does the scene basically deal with. Now, in this particular scene, the themes of loyalty to friends, disguise, and deceit forms the subject of this scene. So there are three subject matter of this scene. One is loyalty to friends as showcased by Portia and Bassanio. Disguise, because Portia makes the plan of disguising herself in order to save the life of Antonio. And deceit, like Shylock deceived Antonio. These three things forms the subject of the scene. Now here we get to know that Portia thinks of a plan to rescue Antonio from the clutches of the Jewish moneylender, that is Shylock. And for that purpose she leaves Belmont with her special maid in attendant Nerissa, and she entrusted the care and management of her household in the hands of Lorenzo and Jessica in her absence. She sends a message to Dr. Bellario, who resides in Padua, seeking from that eminent doctor of law a letter recommending her to the Duke of Venice. Then she starts preparing to go to Venice disguised as a lawyer, and Nerissa disguised as her clerk. So this particular scene takes place in Belmont, a room in Portia's house. The characters present are Portia, Nerissa, Lorenzo, Jessica, and Balthazar. So Balthazar is a new character introduced who is a servant of Portia. Now since Portia, she asked Bassanio to immediately depart to Venice because she did not want a friend of such description like Antonio should suffer the loss of even the breadth of a hair for the sake of her husband. Now you see, it is very difficult for a lady to ask her husband to leave her and go to a different place on a new venture immediately after their nuptial rites are performed. So their marriage was solemnized, and immediately after that marriage being solemnized, Portia asked Belmont to leave for Venice. So that certainly would not have been easy, but she felt that saving Antonio's life is much more important than rejoicing her married life. That is the reason why she asked Bassanio to do so. And this really impresses Lorenzo. And Lorenzo praises Portia for her decision. So the scene begins with Lorenzo praising Portia, for she has decided to let Bassanio leave to Venice immediately. And when we praise someone right before that person, then that person may think that we are trying to simply flatter him or her. But here Lorenzo makes it very clear to Portia that though he is speaking these words to Portia in her presence, but he genuinely and really means it. He says that Portia is a very noble and a virtuous lady because she has a true understanding of friendship, and her understanding of friendship is that friendship which befits the God like amity. Amity means friendship, so a friendship that befits the gods. And this understanding of Portia's friendship is clearly evident is clearly shown in her decision of bearing the absence of her husband immediately after their marriage for the sake of Antonio. But at the same time, Lorenzo admits that Portia has done a very generous act of allowing her husband to go to Venice. But if Portia truly comes to know that for whom she had shown that honor, that generosity, for whom she had sent that relief or help, if she comes to know that how honorable that man is, how true a friend that man is of her husband, if she comes to know all these things, if Portia comes to know that the person to whom she has sent the relief, he is a genuine and true friend of her husband, and he is no doubt a virtuous and honorable person, then she would be even more proud of her act of showing generosity than her usual acts of generosity could make her. Okay. So she is a generous lady, and her usual acts of generosity will no doubt will make her proud, but she will be more proud in this case of having helped Antonio than her usual acts of generosity, because Antonio is truly an honorable person and he is a true lover, a true friend of Bassanio. And Portia also, in a very humble way, replies to Lorenzo that she in her life has never repented for doing something good. She believes in doing deeds of generosity. You see, we know Portia is extremely beautiful. She is more fairer than the word. That is what we came to know Portia in Act 1, Scene 1. So what makes her even more beautiful is her character, is her nature. So she is a very virtuous lady, and she believes in doing acts of kindness or generosity. And she never repented for doing any act of kindness. And now also at this moment she will not repent. She will not complain that her husband had to leave her and go to help Antonio, because she knows that in companions that do converse and waste the time together, whose souls do bear an equal yoke of love, there must be needs a like proportion of leanness of manners and of spirits, which makes me think that this Antonio, being the bosom lover of my lot, must needs me like my lot. Try to understand this line. So you know what is yoke. Yoke means the bar or the stick which is used to tie the oxen together. Okay. So that is yoke. Now she knows that if there are true companions, true friends, who spend most of their time together, who converse with each other, who talk with each other, who spend most of them their time together, their souls are joined together by the same bond of love. So they have a strong bond of love between each other. That is the reason why they spend most of their time together. True friends. And she is certain that birds of a feather flock together. Who become true friends? Whose thoughts are similar, whose nature, attitude is similar. So that makes her feel that since Antonio and Bassanio are friends and they spend most of their time together, so she feels that their souls are joined together by that bond of love, and therefore they must be similar to each other in their lineaments. Lineaments means in their characteristics, in their manner, and in their disposition. So therefore it means that Antonio and Bassanio must be similar to each other. They are connected together by the bond of love, and since they are true friends, they must be similar in their characteristics, in their nature, and in their disposition. So this makes Portia feel that Antonio must be like her husband Bassanio, and therefore she feels that whatever she has done, it seems so little to her. Why? Because she has done all these things for purchasing the semblance of my soul from out the state of hellish cruelty. So she says that how small is the expense which she has incurred to redeem, to reduce the likeness of her husband's soul from a state of hellish cruelty. Because if Antonio might have suffered because of the moneylender Shylock, then Bassanio would have also equally suffered. So therefore, by saving Antonio, by sending relief to Antonio, in fact Portia is trying to save her own husband from that hellish cruelty. And when she says so, according to Portia, lovers are like each other in soul, and close friends resemble each other. So therefore Antonio resembles Bassanio, and Bassanio, since he is in love with Portia, he resembles Portia. So Antonio is similar to Bassanio, Bassanio is similar to Portia. So that means what? Antonio is similar to Portia. If A is equal to B, B is equal to P, that means A is equal to P. Antonio is similar to Portia. Okay. So when Portia is sending that relief, in fact, she is trying to save herself from that hellish cruelty. Okay. And she says that it is so close to praising of herself. And then she discloses her plan to Lorenzo. However, she does not clearly tell Lorenzo about her plan, that she has planned to disguise herself and go to Venice to try for her own self to save the life of Antonio. So even after sending Bassanio, she is not satisfied. She wants to do something on her own. So she decides to disguise herself as a doctor of law and to go to Venice to argue the case of Antonio, to defend Antonio. So therefore she gives the excuse to Lorenzo that she is entrusting to Lorenzo, or entrusting in the hands of Lorenzo, the husbandry and manage of her house, that is the control and management of her house and her servants, until the time Bassanio returns. Why? Because Portia herself, she says that she has decided to lead a life of a nun in a monastery in the absence of her husband. So she has decided to lead a life of meditation and contemplation with her attendant Nerissa. So when she lives in that monastery, she will be accompanied only by her attendant Nerissa. So this is just an excuse that Portia is giving to Lorenzo, because she did not want to disclose her plan to anyone at this stage. So therefore she tells Lorenzo to take care of the management of her house in her absence, because she, along with Nerissa, would be going to a monastery to lead a life of meditation and contemplation in the absence of their husbands. And she tells Lorenzo that the monastery is 2 miles away from Belmont, and there they would be staying till their husbands return. And she also requested Lorenzo not to deny her request, to accept her request and to take care of the house in her absence. Okay. So we do till here. In the next class we will continue from here. Thank you and stay blessed.